Welcome back to another episode of Top 3, narrated by DesertEagle90, where we look at 3 players or events from my team in a certain category. Some of the best moments that I have when it comes to the Eagles are those plays that help to put a tough game on ice. That moment where you think that you are done or the opposing team is about to lead their team down the field to tie or win the game, and one of your players steps up and stops all of that. Your team scores on a wild play and you win the ball game. You get to walk away holding your head up in victory, and your opponent is sitting there crying at the bar stool with a light beer in their hand to drown their sorrows. This video will discuss 3 moments for the Eagles where an offensive player, a defensive player, and a special teams player scored points in crunch time that won my team the game. Before we begin, what are your favorite crazy walk-off scoring plays for the Eagles or your own team? I would love to read them in the comment section below. So beginning with the crazy offensive play that iced a game has got to be from one of the PR's favorite Eagles come from behind wins. You know, the full stand he is, which happened to be against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in 2012. The Buccaneers were 6-6 and on an outside shot of going to the playoffs as a wild card team, and the Eagles were a lowly team at 3-9 and hadn't won a single game since September of that year. It had lost 8 consecutive games. Even worse, they were starting a young backup in Nick Foles that in 4 weeks hadn't won a single game. The Eagles had been winning the game 10-0 at halftime, but the Buccaneers, led by Josh Freeman, had scored 21 consecutive points to make the game 21-10 with 7 minutes and 21 seconds. The rookie quarterback Nick Foles had to lead the Eagles back. He was able to score a touchdown to Clay Harbor to make the game 21-16. When it all came down to it, with 16 seconds left, the Eagles had a 4th and 5 at Tampa's 23-yard line. Foles would throw a strike over the middle to short-handed receiver Jason Avant at the 2-yard line. Foles would go up to the 2-yard line and spike the ball with 2 seconds left. In a complete last-ditch effort, Nick Foles would roll to the right and throw a short-out route to Jeremy Maclin, and the Eagles would win the game 23-21. This would be the only win in Nick Foles' rookie season, and the Eagles wouldn't win another game all season. Andy Reid would be fired, and the rest is history. As for the Buccaneers, they would only win 1 more ball game all season and end 7-9. They wouldn't make the playoffs either, and instead would end the season in 4th place in the NFC South. The Eagles don't really have many crazy walk-off touchdowns on offense that I can think of, but this one takes the cake because it really was the longest 15 minutes of my life that only took around 5 total plays with a few timeouts and a touchdown review. Regardless, as a lifelong Eagles fan, I was happy it happened and was a great surprise during a disappointing season. On defense, my favorite crazy walk-off play happened in 1996 at Cowboys Stadium in Week 10. The Eagles would effectively have the lead for the whole game, but they would start to lose in the 4th quarter. Emmitt Smith would run in a touchdown to make it a 2-point game, and Aikman would tie the game up with a 2-point conversion pass. Eagles kicker Gary Anderson would make it a 3-point game late in the 4th quarter. With the ball driving down the field with a little more than 3 minutes, Troy Aikman would lead the Cowboys all the way down to the Eagles 3 to attempt to win the game. On 3rd down and 3, Troy Aikman threw a pass intended for Tiggy Armstrong, and pass was intercepted by Eagles linebacker James Willis. He would run out and the ball would be lateraled at around 11-yard line to cornerback Troy Vincent, and he would weave around Cowboys offensive players on his way down to an Eagles touchdown to make it a 31-21 win. My favorite part was the fact that Jerry Jones walked his keister downstairs to see the Cowboys win on a walk-off touchdown, just to see his team fail miserably. As a person who heavily dislikes the Dallas Cowboys, this was a great sight to behold, seeing the Eagles run it down the Cowboys' throats. With this said, Jerry would have the last laugh as the Dallas Cowboys would tie the Eagles with the record 10-6, but because of tiebreakers, the Cowboys would win the division and would win a playoff game. The Eagles, on the other hand, would go into the playoffs with the wild card game at San Francisco, but would be shut out in a 14-0 loss. The final crazy scoring play to win a game happens to be one of the greatest special teams play in Philadelphia Eagles history. The Eagles were a 3-2 team playing against a 3-3 San Diego Chargers at Lincoln Financial Field. This is a game of note because it was also the worst game played by Hall of Fame running back LaDainian Tomlinson has a 1 point, he would have negative yardage and would end the game with 17 rushes for 7 yards. It was also the game where Terrell Owens would catch his 100th touchdown pass. With the game seemingly over and the Chargers winning 17-13 with 2 minutes and 37 seconds on the clock in the fourth quarter, Chargers kicker Nate Caden would attempt a 40-yard field goal with the ball being spotted at 23-yard line of Philadelphia. A field goal would put the game on ice, and the Eagles would surely lose because the Eagles heavily struggled all game and Andy Reid refused to use Bryant Westbrook, and McNabb was throwing the ball 54 times. Back to the kick, I thought that the field goal would be made and there was no way the Eagles could come back. The ball was snapped, spotted by the punter, and Caden kicked the ball, but backup defensive back Quentin Michael shot an inside gap and blocked the ball. It then bounced up onto the arms of backup cornerback and seemingly anonymous player Matt Ware, who picked the ball up and ran 65 yards the other direction to give the Eagles the 2017 win. The Chargers did have a chance to come back in the game, but wide receiver Rochelle Caldwell would fumble the ball and it would be recovered by the Eagles defense. The Eagles would unfortunately lose quarterback Donovan McNabb a few games later and would end with a disappointing 6-10 record, and wouldn't be much better for the Chargers, who would end 9-7 and miss the playoffs as well. I just remembered this play because I was sitting there thinking there was no way we win this game. The Eagles don't win games like this. And strangely enough, they did. I'm also sure that Giants fans just breathed a sign of relief because many of them might have thought that I would include a special teams touchdown by Deshaun Jackson in 2010. Don't worry, you'll be spared for now because I refuse to double dip into moments and players right now. Thank you everyone for watching this episode of Top 3. Again, if you have a walk-off or game-clinching scoring plays that your team has done that you like or liked, please talk about it in the comment section. Also, if you want me to do a topic for another Top 3 in the future, please comment what category you want me to do in the comment section. Thank you again and have a nice day.